What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Burn the Ship, Louisiana. We got Kyle and Q here hanging out.
What's going on,
Uh,
everybody?
excited to have a couple guests today, some local North Louisiana guests. We got Poppa Hussein and the Mailman. Welcome, guys. We're hanging out at the Mailman Carl Malone Cigar Shop. Legends Cigar and Bake. Big shout out to them for letting us hang out here and chop it up with you guys. But welcome. How's everything going?
Pretty good, man.
Nice to be here, man.
Glad to be here, man.
So let's dive right into it, guys. Where are you guys from? You said you're from Homer. You're from
Haynesville,
right?
Louisiana.
So how'd you guys connect?
You want to tell a story? We're going to tell a story.
I'm gonna let you tell the story.
I feel like there's two versions of this story.
All right, man.
How we a couple versions?
How we met, man, through my, one of my homeboys. We had a group, Gutter Fam, and he introduced me to Poppa. And ever since, when I met Poppa, we just connected and just been at it ever since then.
Alright, that ain't the story. I gotta cut in. That's the story. He left out details. First time he ever met me, told me music was trash. He didn't want to put that.
I don't remember that.
First time he ever met me, heard from me like, man, that's trash, man. What you call it, that microwave food?
Yeah.
So, man, that's that microwave food. It'll get you full, but you ain't gonna want it no more. So yeah, we met, man, through one of his partners, man, who mutual friend. He heard my music, said it was trash, but he liked it, my energy and my style, kind of. So I kept recording. And finally he heard something like, alright, this dude got something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we been about a 7-8 year relationship now, man. 7-8 years, and we've been rocking up. And I wasn't taking music serious when I met him. It's just something we was doing.
Right.
After I met him, he was like, "You either gonna do it for real, or we ain't gonna do it."
Right.
So we've been on it ever since.
That's awesome. So he sort of lit that fire to kind of take it to the next step.
Yeah, when you tell me I'm trash, I take it personal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody got to be accountable. Though.
Yeah. I take it personal.
I think it says a lot of y'all sitting there, together, still chopping it up.
Oh yeah.
Now, how long have you been rapping in some capacity?
Seriously, like professionally,
Sure.
or just likewise.
When did you start, and then when did you start to take it sort of
I started
to the next level?
rapping to myself, when I was probably a kid. I started making music around the age about 19, 20.
Okay.
Just making music that I liked. The song the club for, they don't call it music.
Right.
That's that microwave food.
Right.
But 19, 20, somewhere around there, I started kind of like understanding how to produce and create content, create music. So I say that's when I really started becoming Poppa Hussein.
Right.
How much of your own stuff do you produce versus outsource?
0% now. I ain't gonna lie, I got lazy. I can't stand making beats. That's a headache. So I shot with a lot of different producers. I had an in-house producer that didn't work out. But I'm 0% of my stuff I produce now.
Right.
I write, compose, 100%.
But I think at the end of the day, you just stick to what you're passionate about. It'd be easy to get bogged down if you're doing something you really don't enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as running a business, right? I mean, I hate doing accounting and payroll. I'd rather just outsource that.
You delegate and focus on what you're good at.
There's a point in time, when you're grinding out that you unfortunately have to kind of take that kind of stuff on. So, but that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Let's talk about because one of the first songs I heard from Q was "I'm Lit." What's the background of that song? Where'd that come from?
I originally wrote and recorded "I'm Lit." It was called "Boy I'm Lit" in probably 2013. The song didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. It was actually on the first mixtape OTG. Remember the first installment?
Yeah.
OTG was the installment I was doing called "Only That Go," and Mailman came up with it. Where he was saying, "Only that go, it gotta be that gas. So if it don't go, it ain't going on now." So it was titled "Boy I'm Lit." I didn't like the record, didn't like the beat. Fast forward 3 years later, I ended up just scrolling on beat channels, on BeatStars and stuff. Ran into Wild Yellow. I don't know if y'all familiar with Wild Yellow, artist from Shreveport. He started producing, and I heard that beat, and I instantly thought of this song that I wrote 3 years prior. You know, recorded the song, put it out. It was the last song I added to my mixtape. Gold. So that's pretty much how it happened.
That's awesome.
Gold.
It's definitely a good club song.
Oh, the song's still doing numbers, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Still doing numbers. We up over 30 million streams.
Wow.
And it's still not even nationally released.
Nah,
so
it's not
that's-
national. No, the world don't know about me.
Right.
We just in the South. I mean, Louisiana, Mississippi, parts of Texas starting to gravitate. I mean, we've been booked up pretty much every weekend of the year for 3 years.
Right.
You know, and that's still without the world knowing me.
Right.
Like the world just getting a taste of it. You know,
Right.
so hey, I don't think that song done everything. You know? Nah, we ain't
I
done.
hope you like this song because I feel like I'm just singing for a few more years.
Forever.
You know? Some songs you just can't get tired of.
I had got drained out on it. About 6 months after it hit, I was drained out. I started telling Mailman, man, I don't want to do that song tonight. He's like, you gotta do that song tonight.
That's the song you got. That's what got us
I
here.
don't want to do that song, man. But I mean, it's different. It's a different way. You know, Louisiana's a club scene. It got the jig movement with it, and it kind of I'm gonna say I re-broke the jig movement with Unlit. It died down from about 09 to where I came out. And when I came out from Hurricane Chris and
Right.
those guys on up to me, there was no songs that really pushed it. You know, you had the guys in South Louisiana level and those type of guys that were making music, but it was just club music. I re-broke jig music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then it was like, man, it's this new guy, new jig song. They started the dance craze and all the colleges picked it up. The HBCUs, Louisiana Tech. Man, we did so many shows at these colleges, man. It was crazy. So it's like I pretty much rebranded and recreated something that had been created years ago. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's still kind of unreal because like we went to Shreveport and we was just at a random club and then there your song get played, you know, and it's just like,
Look at that guy.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I ever get used to that song being played that way. I don't think I ever get used to it. A lot of people ask like, what's your reaction when you hear it? You know, I be like, man, I don't know. I be kind of stunned. Like, you riding down the road and 99.7 KMJJ and Poppa Hussein when I'm lit. Boop, boop, boop. I be wanting to stop the car and jump out of the interstate every time. I don't think it ever just get to the point where I'm like, it's alright.
Right.
I don't think I ever get there. I think I'm gonna be like, pull the car.
Right.
You know?
That's awesome. That's incredible. Where'd you get the name? What Poppa Hussein? Where'd that originate from?
The name came in two halves, man. They were calling me Poppa in high school because at the time my favorite rapper was Big Poppa, Ratchet City. He out of Shreveport. I knew every song. I'm talking about every song, every verse, every feature he had. I knew his styles. So I kind of rapped similar to him.
Right.
And everybody was like, we're just gonna call you Poppa. You know what I mean? So they started calling me that. And then as I went on to college, I went to Grand State, and I started that's when I kind of met him in between that time song right there. And I started rapping. And then I said on a verse or something, I can't remember the verse. I was like, I'm gonna start terrorizing tracks like a Hussein or something like that. And it stuck, and people started saying, Poppa Hussein. Poppa Hussein, Poppa Hussein. I don't know if they thought I said it on the chain, my name was Hussein or something, or what, but it just stuck. And I mean, he liked the name. You know. So that's where that come from.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
So Mailman, what's kind
Yes,
of what's kind of your role throughout the last 7 years? Would you say
7, 8 years.
7,
I've been just managing, keep him in line, making sure the music good, up to par.
accountability. Man.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta ask somebody like that. That's what we do the same thing with each
Right.
other. Yeah.
Right.
Kind of take each other in check sometimes.
Mailman, he a secret weapon. Mailman, the reason y'all ain't heard no trash music from me. Put it like that. If I drop a song in the studio and he hear it, he gon' Well, he ain't gonna give me that face. He's gonna tell me that's that trash.
Yeah.
Right.
That's that hot garbage right there. Like, scratch that. I'm like, well, I'll send it back. Nah, delete the session.
Yeah.
I don't even want you to think about putting that out. Now, here go another beat. Let's try this again, you know. So, I give him a lot of credit for, man, when I wasn't financially able, wasn't financially stable, recording in my mama's washrooms, and now, you know, we building studios. You know, the game changed, and, you know, I got, you know, a little song. Before this time, man, he pretty much not just helped me with my music, but pretty much took care of me. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Like a brother.
Yeah.
You know, like he made sure I was straight.
Right.
So that's why from this point forward, you know,
Exactly.
yeah, it's going back. It's going back. It's supposed to always go in circular motion. When you cut the circle, it's no longer a circle. It got a leak hole.
Right.
Like I can honestly say that since we've been together, the circle always been a circle.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got no leak holes. We good.
You need that.
Yeah.
You need that for sure. Especially when things get tough, like you said, man. It's
Gotta work through it.
grind. It's a grind.
It's a grind.
Man. It's a grind. But you need. It's tough to battle. You know, take it on by yourself. You know, I've been there a lot. So, you know, the last couple of years grinding with the whole Easy brand, and this man right here, he's been that same. He's been the mailman for me, you know, several times.
Everybody need a meal.
Everybody needs a mailman.
I tell him, hey, look, I know my time's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna need to reach for that hand. I hope there's about 6 of them there.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
So that's awesome, man. I love to see stuff like that for sure. It's tough to find loyalty these days.
Man,
Not only loyalty, but just somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
you said the right word.
Yeah, loyalty and trust is a rare.
It's
part.
rare. This generation of people is a different generation. I tell people, if you're born after 95, you're 2000, baby. And y'all some weird individuals. I'm taking it personal. That's just how I feel. If you weren't born before 95, I'm a little iffy about you.
It's just a different world.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're in a unique generation where growing up, you didn't have anything but to go play outside. You know, we didn't have cells. We got to experience the initial times of technology and the time when we really didn't have it.
Yeah,
We had to dial up.
It's an
internet.
old school blended with technology.
Yeah. So we sort of have that kind of that intertwining of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, that kind of post 95, that's all they know is technology.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just a different world, and it's one of those things that will continue evolving, and we just gotta roll with it.
It's like you used to give your kid a basketball, now you give your kid a tablet. Tell them go watch it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Be quiet. Huh?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Be quiet.
It's a relationship part. Like we had to go outside and you had to make friends with other people.
Yeah.
Right? So you learn how to deal with people and then
Communicate.
communicate and build relationships, and now they stay inside
Yeah.
and their best friend is some gamer tag.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's not a relationship, so it still comes back to who's trying to get the higher points.
Exactly.
You know, so it becomes selfish. To me, it's all about, are you for you or are you for the better good, right? Like what's right, you know? And
Yeah, I don't think it's even their fault per se. And I honestly almost throwing it back to the parents. You know, 'cause at the end of the day, they're responsible for
Yeah.
a period of time as a kid. You know what I mean? Yeah, keeping them grounded, but the technology just kind of facilitates. You know, if they don't know any better, it facilitates that type of. That type of stuff.
I feel we just gotta accept the change in the world, man. That's simple.
And adapt.
Point blank. Just adapt to
You gotta
it.
adapt to it.
If not, you're gonna get left
We
behind.
were just talking about TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
becoming millionaires off TikTok. When it's like, I can't wrap my head around it.
When's
You
the
don't even
last-
know who these people are, you know.
Yeah, like when's the last time you bought a CD out the store?
I'm surprised they still sell them.
That's crazy.
mine don't even take a CD.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
When the last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you rarely see cars with CD
That's
players.
a fact.
Like that's crazy.
Right?
Now they got DVD players.
Yeah,
In the
DVD
back.
players in the back. Back of the
They got
car.
them for a little while though. But
Make $1 million off your iPhone now.
$1 million off your iPhone.
and it's a blessing and a curse, man.
Yep.
There's no excuse. The internet is a resource that everybody has access to. So there's no excuse not to be. If you don't know something,
Yeah, it can kind of go back with telling like if your parents didn't raise you, the internet will.
Yeah. See, like I say, the internet is powerful both ways. You know what I mean?
For good and bad.
For good and bad. And that's what's so great, but at the same time not so great about it. Right? You know, because you got the power to send something to the world at the click of your finger.
Right.
That's dangerous.
Learn anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
you know.
dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Like that's amazing, but that's dangerous.
Right.
So I can go tell the whole world about this idea I got and become an instant sensation. Or I can go tell the whole world how to murder everybody.
Right.
And you know, I just started something crazy, you know. So like the internet, it's like we gotta adapt, but as parents and people who are influencing the world, we also have to learn that while we're adapting, how to control the narrative with our young ones. You know, how to teach them that this is for good.
Right.
So teach them that it's for good, not for bad.
Sure.
And I think that's what we're missing out of it.
Right. That knowledge and power without guidance.
Yeah, we're missing the guidance.
Yeah.
Let's go down that a little bit. Both you guys are fathers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you got 4 kids. You got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Right. Walk us through just like how that, having kids, because obviously that's a big responsibility. How does that impact, kind of the business side of life? How does it inspire you? Just go down that road a little bit with us. Let us in that a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like man, having kids, it inspired me to go harder. Like just teach them how to be a businessman, move in this world, and let them know ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Don't expect nothing from nobody, and just work hard.
For me, I started to question my image a little bit. For my 9-year-old, seeing stuff from him was kind of normal. Alright, his 9-year-old, he started to understand. But when my 2-year-old started watching my videos and reenacting me, then I was like, I need to start kind of,
That's
paying
a mirror.
attention to what I'm doing. So I don't want him walking around and, making gun symbols and stuff like that. So I'm kind of tweaking my image and tweaking certain things I'm doing videos and actually teaching my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old, like, this is just entertainment.
Right.
Like, I'm just doing this for, for gain. Like, it's for financial gain and for, make sure my artistry is art, And it's hard to explain it to a kid.
Right.
It's hard to explain it, but you gotta try. Because at the end of the day, who's a son's hero? His father, 90% of the time. He gonna wanna be just like him. You know what I mean? So I try to touch on my image in little spots and make sure that I'm leading, a good example. Because they gonna have all these videos that I'm making now. When my kids get teenagers, they're gonna be able to, hey, my daddy was doing all that. Right. They're gonna be able to watch it. You too ain't going to watch it.
No.
Going to what?
And at least your kids have the advantage of seeing you in real life.
That's
you're gonna have a lot of fans
Yeah.
that won't get to see, so that's the importance of music, the people you touch.
I actually thought about that, about all the artists. Like, say you're an artist right now at 17, 18, 19. You become a father. When you get older, your kids gonna see how you were as a kid. Like, dang, that's my daddy at 17. That's crazy. And it's in 4K. Right. I'm pretty sure 4K gonna still look pretty good.
Oh yeah.
They might have some 50K or something out there.
It'll be virtual reality. It'll be in the music video.
They can jump in
and jump out. But I'm pretty sure when they see 4K, they're gonna say, "Man, that looks pretty good."
Yeah.
They probably gonna laugh because they gonna have robots and little zap buttons, but they can do crazy stuff. But it's cool to think about it.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Appreciate y'all.
What do y'all see next? What's the next 6 months look like?
Next 6 months, man. Planning on the tour, gearing us for the new tour, building the management label up. Well, I ain't gonna say management label, but building the brand up, looking for talent, and just trying to reach that next level.
Right.
Next 6 months, me as an artist, y'all can look forward to seeing me attack social media a lot more. I can tell you that. Like, me and social media, we've been beefing all around career. I finally called him up and was like, hey, we got dead beef, bro.
Right.
Like, okay, so I'm finna attack social media more Me as a music guy is more of a manager mindset, because I am breaking into management, me and him with our company. I'm looking for some dope artists, you know, but I'm gonna be different than a lot of people. Right now they sign people for gimmicks and image. I'm actually for talent.
Right.
I like talent. I can't listen to bad music. It's something about it I can't listen to. Like even if it can make $1 million, I might bite the bullet and do it. But at the same time, I'm gonna be saying that was trash.
Right.
And I don't want no trash associated with my name. You know what I mean? Everything that come out of here, I want to say part of them hits.
Yeah.
Them hits they shelling out over there. You know. So that I take pride in it.
Yeah, it's a reputation you got.
Yeah.
You want to build. So that's dope. How I was just kind of randomly thinking though, during COVID, right? So I mean, I'm sure you probably couldn't really do many shows.
Yeah.
So what you know, in that year or so time span, what was it that you were focused on? Whether it was music, or did you kind of take a step back and just spend time with family? Like what went on during that time frame?
Man, weird as it finna sound, I actually did shows during
Okay.
COVID, pretty good number.
Okay.
I ended up catching COVID. I shot some videos, man. We actually kept working through.
So you stay busy,
Yeah.
Yeah, like God kind of kept me busy.
All right.
I caught COVID and was down about a month.
Sure.
When I came back, it was like back on it, you know, like back in it. Like I'm still kind of bouncing around and doing things. And there was times where I was like, man, I don't know what we finna do right now, because everything started going down. But that's why I believe in a higher power, and power was like God kept lifting it back up. Like it might dip a little bit, but yeah, come back up, you know. I dropped one of my favorite records that I ever made during COVID. Whoop Whoop.
Mm-hmm.
The Whoop Whoop record is crazy.
Yeah.
And I still think it got a mad potential. Yeah, you gotta check out Whoop Whoop.
Yeah.
I still think it got
Yeah.
mad potential, man.
Yeah.
But I was real proud of that song, that video, and the way we went about it. You know, so that was like my hot one.
Okay.
That's the song that made me call him.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I remember that.
Cause Shamir, you know,
Yeah.
like I got called this time. I gotta reach out. Got me with that one.
And I actually got another one like it about to come out. So
Little teaser.
Little teaser.
there.
teaser.
Can we release a name?
Can we get a little snippet on there real quick or
Spin the
something?
beans. It's called Spin the Beans. Y'all be looking for Spin the Beans, man.
Keep an eye out.
Little, yeah. Got a little bit of that ratchet raunchiness to it. Yeah.
So that's how y'all linked up. It was just a cold call.
So,
Y'all have some mutual
so
connections.
Mutual connection.
Shamir, 2 Quick L's work,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Going down the boxing thing, I always saying, hey, keep me in a loop with what's going on in the music world, right? While you out here, who you seeing, whatever. So he broke me a list one time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just, I go on social media, I follow him or whatever, and one of them was Poppa, he's like, man, this my dude right here, you gotta check him out, And I had went on there, but I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff, going through some things, and when I finally just took the time, that Woo Woo record came out, and I was like, man, that sounded like, because I'm growing up thinking my old school, I'm like, that sounded like an old mystical track, and I'm like, I was hooked, I was like, man, and so we kept talking, and then finally I was like, all right, Shamir, it's time, like, I need Poppa's number, I gotta reach out, it's time to make that connection,
Yep.
and then we got like on a 3-way text message trying to figure out when me and Mailman and Pop could get together, and it finally aligned. It took a while.
Yeah.
What's your Saturday look? Well, what's Saturday? Well, I can't do that.
I'm booked.
Three busy people
I'm
trying
going
to.
down here, and oh man. Finally, about 6 months?
Yeah.
We've been talking. We have been talking and stuff for about 6 months. Finally, he said, I'm free Sunday. I said, well, look at that. I'm free Sunday too. What's up? Let's go. Okay. Call Mailman. Oh, yeah, I'm free. I'll be down. Let's go.
Somehow we had Demetrius. Yeah, we was somehow. I don't know how we got on a topic
We got him talking about a music video.
Yeah.
And something about Demetrius and some cars in his house. And then I was like, well, I know his sister. And then you was like, well, I know him, you know.
Yeah,
I was like, well,
I was like, right. I was
let's
like,
make that happen, you know. And
and he happened to be available too that Sunday.
Yeah, and he's like,
So that's
Still haven't shot the video yet.
still ain't shot the video, but we got a lot more good out of it. Still waiting on that video.
That's awesome. Like we said earlier, it's your network is your network. And what you say, you have to nurture that network.
Oh, you gotta nurture your
Man,
network.
that's a good one right there.
Gotta nurture.
Tag that.
Nurture your network.
Nurture your network.
Somebody put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's 100% of what we've seen is, like I say, the higher power putting plays in that would have never dreamed come about. I mean, it really goes back, like I say, with Shamir. You know, I worked at Johnny's Pizza with Shamir 20 years ago. Man, you know what I mean? That's my relationship with Shamir. He was 15. You know, I was having to let him go on lunch break every 2 hours. He couldn't work that long, you know, to him, you know, saying, hey, because I remember we were shooting video in New Orleans. We shot video of him FaceTiming you.
Yeah,
Before we
I
even
remember
met.
that.
That's who he was FaceTiming,
Okay.
who was in New Orleans.
I was at the
gym.
show. Yeah.
So, you know, just lives keep weaving in and out, you know.
Well, let's see. We talk about this all the time because I'm from Kentucky. I'm kind of the black sheep, you know, right? Because I'm from Kentucky, right? So it's like, you know, I've had people ask me, how the hell did you end up in Farmville? I mean, I live in Farmville right now. So it's
Yeah.
like, how did you end up in Kentucky to Farm? So just that story, and then I meet Q, and next thing I know, I'm going to Roy Jones's house, and then I meet Carl Malone. It's like, who would have ever
I told him when we first met him.
he set the bar pretty high. Literally, I had just moved up. I was living in Mississippi. That's where we started Easy Rider, and Ruston was an opportunity. I was like, well, I probably need to physically eventually be over here. This was after Easy Rider called Traction.
What Easy Rider?
So Easy Rider was like another version of Uber and Lyft.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we started at Ole Miss in Oxford. Had a decent bit of traction, but it was already saturated with Uber, Lyft, all the food delivery. Got plugged into Ruston. Uber and Lyft weren't here, so we were the first player in the game. Had a decent bit of success, and then COVID forced us to pivot into the food delivery space, which is why we're doing Easy Deliver now.
Yeah.
But before we launched Easy Deliver, the biggest issue we had with Easy Rider was I physically was not here.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to manage operations, get out there and market and plug in, you know, in person, I think was a missed opportunity for the growth of Easy Rider. But COVID pretty much shut that down, at least temporarily. But he's one of the first people I met when we
He
brought it
leaves
over.
out. First time we met, I told him, I said, you know you're going to have to move to Ruston, right? no, man.
Keeping everybody trying to
Yeah, what do you think?
He did it to me.
Hey, man, how do you move the rest?
Yeah, he was arrested, right?
And he was like, no, man, we got up. And I said, you know you're going to end up in a restaurant, right? Like, I said, it's a good middle point for everything, you know?
Yeah.
Technically, I still ain't moved to Ruston.
Yeah, well, you close enough.
That's Ruston.
Yeah.
So
The new Ruston. That's the new Ruston.
Right.
Yeah, it is. But when we started Easy Deliver, that's where I was going with this. I was like, I'm gonna do this right, so I'm gonna physically move over here. So I sold my house in Mississippi, and I just bought a camper, so I'm set up on Darbon right there by Reds.
Really?
And because I was like, I don't want to be tied into a lease. I definitely ain't buying another house. And if I need to pick up and go, I can pick up and go. Literally, I had set the camper up. I've been there maybe a day or 2 days. He was like, hey, you want to take the camper down to Pensacola? We're going to go to Roy Jones' house. And I was like, say no more. It's like,
Right on to me, man.
there was 4 of us. We went down there and set up on a little campground. Got to hang out at Roy's, and I was like, man, you set the bar pretty high. And then I meet Carl. You know,
It was like 2 weeks
It
later.
was like 2 weeks later, so I was like,
You man had 2 weeks that you can dream about.
yeah, right.
See, I'd always told Shamir, when, you know, Shamir approached me back with boxing, you know, he's like, oh, I'm training with Roy Jones and all that. So I was like, all right, bet, well, if you ever have an opportunity to go down to Roy's and train and all that, and you need a ride, I'll take you, right? And that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I said that, dude, right when he had just came out of Golden Glove, met WAP and all that. So then he just called me and was like, hey, WAP and Roy are going to be in Pensacola. You want to go? I'm like, yeah. When? He's like, tomorrow. Like next week, you know. And I was like, Man, give me 30 minutes, you know, so I'm trying to figure out this. So it's just crazy. I'm like, he just moved here like that day with a brand new RV camper, you know, and I'm like, so I hit him up like, hey, what are you doing this week? You know, and I told him, he's like, I mean, how you gonna say no to that? You know, and my other buddy at college, he had a bunch of recording equipment and stuff. I was like, when we're down there, we can catch a bunch of video, we can do a podcast type setup, the interview. It just all came together. I mean, in like 2 days from the time that phone call, 2 days we were on the road, Pensacola, stayed down there a whole week.
Man,
So
That's cool. Super nice guy too, by the way.
yeah, that's when Triller was down there filming. That was right when the Mike Tyson fight was just happening. They had film crews down there.
We were down there a week before that Tyson fight. Dang, we got to see Roy hit. Well, the first time we got to see him train, like hit the bags and stuff like that. Second time he was just kind of his fight, you know, just more mental than physical. But
Right.
you know, got to meet his family. We didn't even know it. We were amongst several other boxers.
Yeah,
Michael Williams Jr. is out there. He's I think like 18, 19 and 0, something like that. He trains under Roy. You know, we were among several champions.
Yeah, didn't even know it. You know, because they don't act like that either. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like people pulling up and they're trying to act big. I mean, it's come in, you like, oh, this must be some young kid just trying to fight. Oh no, he holds a belt. Okay, you know, this lady right here, you know, this woman, you know, she a champion. You know, like it's just like okay. You know, man, he going to die after I was there.
We all right there, like we can get.
It makes you feel real bad about yourself once they're such physical athletes, you know, and I'm over here like,
I'm ready to eat.
you know, and I'm like, I'm
That's really inspiring. But it's actually kind of, when you say it like that, I mean, that's how Roy in the ring, he's kind of flashy, you know what I mean? But you sat there and talked to him and really just a humble, you know, kind of just hanging out with the guys. You know, very easy to talk to and be around, and his kids, his family, super friendly. So it was just cool. It was a cool experience. Great people. You know, we talk about loyalty, man. You realize real quick, and when you are around that circle, it's like if you're in, but if you're not even close to being in, you're out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
To get in, it's a blessing to get in.
100%.
it's a family down there, you know, it really is.
You leave there inspired. I mean, every time. I mean, I said the 2 times we've been there, or even going and hang out with Watt at his gym in New Orleans. You leave there just, you know, grateful and inspired. You know what I mean? There's just something about the aura of those places that.
Well, you know, like when you're down there, the quality of people, like like you almost can guarantee if you're there, you're solid.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you wouldn't got there if you weren't. You know what I mean? Like you can, like that's what we learned. Cause it was like, we know our relationship and Shamir and how many years that took and what Shamir into WAP and then WAP's relationship to this thing. So when you go there and they say, oh, they're with us, you know, it was just immediate like, oh, here's the keys, you know, kind of attitude. And I'd have that same thing with WAP. I mean, if he came up right now, I'd give him the key to my house. You know, just because it's known, you know. So it's a blessing, like I say, you know, you got that.
We're speaking this into existence, so we gotta get Poppa and.
Oh, that's already happening. We haven't. Poppa will be on one of them tracks with Roy. I already had to talk to Roy about it. You know, we just got a busy schedules, you know, put together. You know.
I'm gonna clear the schedule.
I
want to go down there though. That's what we need. We need to go down there.
His studio is right above the gym where they train too, so it's like a one-stop shop for everything.
Make that happen. Yeah, we clearing the schedule. Schedule's clear. Let's go. Right?
That's crazy.
But it's tomorrow, so I ain't asking. Let's go.
We need to have that fight song ready. And just be like, oh, we'll work on the fight song. Just show up with it already, you know.
Already ready. Got your first over.
You know. Yeah.
I knew you wanted 16 balls. Is that right?
It'd be all because that's one of the things. Like you go in that gym, you tell Roy is so musically inclined. That's one of his passions, you know. Because I mean, he don't box without music. You know what I mean? And he's boxing to the rhythm. That's the other thing. You know, you can tell they boxing to the rhythm. You know, keep them on their feet. And he's working on another album. But he ain't released it yet, so I feel like something tells me he ain't he's not ready.
Happy with it.
But yeah, he's missing something. I know what he's missing.
Miss Poppa Hussein.
Yeah.
That's what he missing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that will happen.
That's his words.
Speaking that into existence.
What's your next show? Where can people see you next?
You can see me July 16th in Tyler, Texas. You can see me July 17th in Dallas. July 24th, Dallas. July 30th, Dallas. July 31st.
You got a website with all this?
Not yet.
Not yet.
July 31st. I keep it updated on my Instagram and my Facebook page.
So what's the handle? Is it just Poppa Hussein?
Instagram is official Poppa Hussein.
Poppa Hussein.
Poppa Hussein official.
Okay.
At Poppa Hussein official, spelled like it's signed.
With those in the caption.
Yeah. Facebook is Poppa Hussein with the blue check. With the blue check
Oh.
now. With the blue check. Yeah, man, we've been. This summer been great.
Yeah.
This summer been great. I haven't had a weekend off. My first weekend off is coming up, and I took that weekend off on purpose.
Sure.
My birthday is the 13th. My father's birthday is July 16th. We always do something, so I took that weekend off on purpose. But other than that, man, this summer been excellent, and it seems like it's trending in the right direction. And I'm releasing music at the right time because everything seems like it's starting to take off.
Sure.
You know, and I still got the omelet over here in this area and then everything else in this area.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I'm battling my demons. I'm lit as my demons. I'm lit as the ratchet pop.
Right.
You know, and I'm trying to give them the artist Poppa Hussein, you know, but ratchet pop is still pounding over here.
You gotta release that every once in a while.
Yeah, it's pounding though. It's like right now it's like it's pounding, and the other one's just quiet.
It's definitely it's one of those that it's gonna take that one good time, like we talking about like a TikTok.
Yeah.
Somebody do a dance to it or something. And
So all the influencers, come on, do the right thing.
come on with it.
We gonna get you.
And what platforms are there? I know you're on Spotify.
Spotify, iTunes, every platform in the world. We distribute through our label, New Money, and New Money is distributed worldwide through TuneCore. So
YouTube.
YouTube, whatever platform when you Tidal, whatever platform you listen to music, you can find me.
All right, bro. We'll throw that information in there for sure.
Now word on Street We Made, you seeing y'all in New Orleans August 5th to the 8th,
through
maybe
the 8th.
sometime in between. Big things. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to New Orleans in about 3 years. I think it's time.
So if you need get in contact Poppa Hussein, hit us up for feature hooks, placements, club appearances.
You want to get my hooks. Tell you something about my hooks. There's something about them. They gravitation. I don't know. They got that pull.
What's the best way? They need to hit one of the channels, call, a number, what
Email.
You can hit the phone number, area code 318-773-6514 for all the booking, or you can hit up New Money International Management on iTunes, or you can hit up Poppa Hussein on iTunes.
Or you can email poppahusseinbusiness@gmail.com.
No excuse.
No
Why they
excuse.
can't reach you.
No excuse. You can always reach me.
Worst case, you just DM us. Or
Just
you-
that's the easy way.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, but don't know me, they know me. Hey, see how we just
Look, I've been trying to hit Pop up for a hook, and I don't even have a song for it. I just get one of them hooks. I just want to sit on it, ride around, and listen to it.
give him an acapella hook.
That could be my one of the old school with my voicemail, you know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, fellas, shit, we can sit here and chop it up all day, but I appreciate y'all taking some time to hang out and let us in y'all's word a little bit. Hope maybe you got some new followers through this, if anything, but it's been a pleasure, fellas.
Same job, man. We appreciate y'all.
Likewise.
Burn the ship.
Burn the ship. We'll catch
Burn
you
the
on
ship.
the flip side. All
Burn
right.
the ship, man.
Later.